Hi guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm, and today we're going to be carrying on our series. And what we're going to be doing today is that we're going to be getting our player thumbnail before when we save in the game, so we can show that how the character looks like in a preview on the main menu or something. So yeah, to do that, what we're going to be doing here is that we're going to go back to our project in here, right? And I'm going to close everything for now, and let's do this. So to do that, we are going inside our folder here. I'm gonna right click and I am gonna create here material, what is it, blueprint, cinematic, artificial intelligence, media, material, input, texture, that's the one. And we're gonna be using a render target, right? So I'm just gonna call this RD save game preview or something, right? And the way we're going to be using this is that we're going to create a scene capture 2D element. We're going to spawn that in our game, set up the range as the camera, and then get whatever the camera is looking on. But to do this, we have to do a couple of things. So first of all is create the render target, open up this guy here first, and this is very important. First thing we need to do here is what you want to set up is you want to go on here, and where is the RTF blah blah blah, you're gonna make sure that you set up to RTF GBPA8. And the reason why you're gonna do this is just because you want to make sure that you save this to a PNG, so that thing will allow us to save this as a PNG. Now the next thing that we want to do here is, of course, let me just go back to my project here, is to make sure that we set the size. I'm just gonna put like 500 by 500 for now. And the gamma basically controls the bright. I'm just gonna put this to like 3, maybe 2 for now, and then after we can adjust this value as we go. Great. Now we can close that, which is fine. Let's go back to our main class in here. So now let's do the part that we spawn the object that will create the camera and do everything that we're looking for here. So we're gonna go to our widget, open up our character creation. Let's go back to our main widget thing here, and here we are going to do is something. Let's say I'm just gonna move this to here just so we have more space, right? And what I'm going to be doing here is, you can do this in many different ways. What I'm going to do that first is just, I'm going to move this here. And then what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to create a spawn actor scene to capture 2D so I can capture my character. So I'm going to spawn actor from class. And the class that I'm looking for here is something called Scene Capture 2D, right? So we're gonna capture this. This is gonna ask for transform, but luckily for us, we have our player reference, so we can get our player reference. And then what we can do is that get actor transform, right? Just gonna plug this guy right here. Great. And then the next thing that we are going to do is, let me just align those. I just want to make sure that we're gonna get our reference. So we're gonna get our component. Yeah, we want to get a capture 2D component 2D. I'm just gonna set this to a variable called the image capture or something, just so I know what it is, because we're going to be using this variable again to do some more stuff. Starting to run out of space. I'm just going to put this block here for now. Great. Now the next thing that you guys are going to do here is we need to set up the capture source, right? So to do that, we're going to set I think it's capture source. Here we go, right? And the capture source is that we need to tell this guy to say, okay, I want you to capture in PNG. So to do this, you just set to final color LDR in RGB, right? Just plug that one here. Then the next thing that you want to do here is that you wanna, I think, let me just double check. Yes, so what we want to do here, let me just align here. I'm just doing some stuff on my other screen here because I have a script that I'm following because I don't remember everything on my head. So the next thing that we guys are gonna do here is that we're gonna set the field of view, right? And the field of view is the camera, is whatever the player camera have. So again, let's get our player reference. Let's get the follow camera or something, and that should get the field of view. So get the field of view, and then we set this back here. Great. Now the next thing that we're gonna do here from that is that we are going to set the texture, and the texture is that thing that we have created called, if you guys remember, if you go back to our main save game, is the RD save game preview. So I'm just gonna select this, plug the value back, compile and save, right? And now there's a couple of things that just related to performance. You don't necessarily need to do this because normally after you save your game, you can delete this component and that would go. But what I like to do as well is just set the capture every frame to false, right? And also set the capture movement to also false, because we want this to happen in a fraction of a time and then it just disappear, right? Nice. Now the next thing that we're gonna do here is that we are gonna tell these components to capture scene. So the capture scene will basically capture whatever we're trying to capture. So just to show some context, if I press play right now and I do anything here or something, and then I press create, what should happen is that now our RD is already capturing some stuff. It's not actually capturing the right location here, so we need to check what's that for. And I think I have an idea why, but I think I know what's going on here is because we are getting our character. Let me just double check if I have capture scene. Yeah, I need to get our follow camera. That's the part that I changed here. I did it wrong. But let me open up that. So instead of getting our player reference, we're just gonna get our follow camera. We're gonna get a word transform, and we're gonna plug this one here. So in this way, now if I press play, test, press create, and now I go back to my scene. That's working here. As you guys can see, it's a little bit dark, but it should help us change. We can change these in a sec, right? Not sure how bright this can go, but that's fine. Cool. Now we may also have to change the camera to be a little bit closer because right now it's getting quite far, but cool. Now let's just save this thing into a file so we can use this on our save game to save all the data here. So what we can do here to save this into a file is that we are going to get our image capture. We're gonna get our texture target, right? And we are going to call a node called export render target. Nice. Now the save path that we want to save, that's up to you, but what I like to do normally is something like we're gonna get our save directory, and in here we're gonna put the file name. So what we can do here is something like ch-01, right? And make sure that you put the file extension as a .png as well, because we do need to read this file after. Now, if you did everything right, and if is everything correctly, what should happen, I should just type anything on this value, press create, and what should happen is that on our project, let's go back to our Unreal project, character creation, saved, we should have an image that has our character here. So as you can see, it's quite dark, the resolution is not great as well. So let's see if you can improve that a little bit. So on our RD here, let's put this resolution to something, I don't know, like 1000 by 700 or something. Let's increase the gamma by 3 or something. Save, and let's see what does it look like. I'm gonna create. Let's see how does it look like now. A little bit better, still a little bit dark, but I think that will do for now. Yeah, as you guys can see, after you can, you know, change. So you know, this will be used just on our little save game, just so we can see how things are going. Let me see if I just bump that gamma to something crazy, like, I don't know, let's put 50 for now. I just want to see how does it look like once it's fully worked. Yeah, that's too much. That's too bright. So let's just put that back to, oh, it's the wrong one here. Let's just leave it at 15, and then after you guys can change this as you need. Right. Great. So now we saved our location. We got everything under control. So what we can do here is that we can carry on with the saving logic, right? Plug this one here. Now it's gonna ask for the character image. Let's promote this to a variable called the thumbnail name or something. Compile and save. Now it has character 1, and we're gonna just plug this one back here. And that should be everything there. So it's gonna use the same thing, everything is good. Yeah, let's just press play and let's see what's gonna happen here. Now we have my character. I'm gonna change his hair, a couple of stuff. I'm gonna call dude01 or something. Hit create. So don't worry about this error here. It's just because we disabled the set framing thing, but still capturing the data correctly. Now if you get here, yeah, it's quite bad, the gamma. So let's just go back in there and let's change that value again to, I think, maybe 8. Maybe 8 is good. Let's check here again. Create. That's still looking pretty bad. It's a little bit better, but it's not looking great. I know it's the thumbnail of the save game, but let's just put, like, let's leave it at 4, and then that's it. I'm not gonna change this much. Great. So now what we're gonna do here is that in the next lesson we are gonna create a widget, like a new scene, where we are gonna create a menu that we can select this character, and then once we press play, we're gonna be able to, you know, play with that character that we have created, loading out that data and everything. So yeah, once again guys, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next lesson.